People in the Frieren community are having this argument again. People are comparing Frieren's demons to immigrants and minorities. And yes, I'm serious. This take has been going viral in the Frieren fandom. Demons are a metaphor for immigrants and minorities. And I'm sorry, but that's just a wild take. And also completely wrong. People have takes like, demons are just a different culture, humans fear them because they don't understand them, and Frieren is basically prejudice. I'm going to be very real with y'all, that comparison is crazy. Not because you're not allowed to read themes into a story, because you obviously are, but because Frieren goes out of its way to show you these aren't misunderstood people. These are predators. And that's where the conversation gets messy online, because the show isn't pushing a modern political metaphor, but the fandom is. People keep trying to translate Frieren into a familiar real-world debate. Demons are standing for minorities, humans are the real monsters, everything I just said. But Frieren isn't written like an allegory first. At least, not when it comes to demons. It's written like a world rule first. It's saying, in this setting, demons function like a predatory species. That's the premise. So when you force a political reading on top of it, you end up arguing with the text itself. Because the story keeps showing you demons aren't framed as people navigating society. They're framed as the threat the world had to learn how to survive. And there's one conversation that ends that debate if you're actually paying attention to the show. Frieren tells the sword demon something that sounds almost reasonable. You don't have to eat humans. You could eat other things. In most stories, that's where the monster hesitates, and that's where you get a we're not so different moment. But this demon doesn't say I have no choice, it doesn't say I'm starving, it asks why would that stop me? And Fern reacts the exact way the audience is supposed to react. She asks, is that the nature of demons? Because that one line exposes the truth. Demons don't eat humans because they need to, they eat humans because they want to. That difference matters. If it's survival, you can negotiate, you can talk, you can build rules, but preference means it's voluntary. Preference means even if you hand them alternatives, they would still choose humans. And if I open my mind a little bit, I get why people do it. Because in a lot of anime, the monster is secretly a stand-in for oppressed groups. Fear of the unknown, prejudice, propaganda, all of that. But Frieren isn't doing that. Frieren's demons aren't another group trying to coexist. They're a species that evolved around one thing, using human communication as a hunting tool. They mimic emotions to get closer, they mimic language to lower your guard, and they mimic humanity like camouflage, not connection. And the anime makes this painfully obvious with that mommy moment. Right before Frieren kills the demon, it asks for its mommy. Not because it suddenly feels love, but because it knows the word is loaded for humans. To demons, certain human words are basically panic buttons. They don't mean anything to the demon emotionally, but they mean something to you. Because even a split second of hesitation is enough for a demon to escape, counter, or get a kill. So the demon didn't suddenly get emotions, it's just a hunting strategy. Use the most human triggering word possible and hope your empathy buys it one extra second of life. And that completely breaks the misunderstood culture framing, because they're not being punished for being different. They're being hunted because they themselves hunt. And here's something you really need to think about. Frieren is an elf, and in fantasy terms, elves are usually the high tier species. Ancient, rare, respected, powerful, but in Frieren, even elves got pushed to near extinction. Demons hunted elves when Frieren was still a child. You gotta really think about it. That's a predator species removing threats. So when the fandom says demons are like immigrants or minorities, the show is basically screaming no. They're not misunderstood, they are underestimated. And that's a big difference. And this is why Frieren refuses to treat them like redeemable beings. Not because she's prejudiced, but because she has centuries of experience watching what happens when humans do the things humans always do. They assume words mean the same thing to everyone. Frieren even says it out loud. As long as humans know desire, demons will take advantage of that. And that's the real horror. Demons don't just attack your body, they attack what you want. And humans want mercy, closure, a second chance, to believe this one is different, and to believe talking can fix things. And demons weaponize that, because desire makes people hesitate, and hesitation is the opening they're looking for. And demons live for that moment. That's why the writing is so nasty. They're not trying to win by strength alone. They're trying to make you pause at the exact second you can't afford to. And let's be honest, if Frieren was trying to tell a prejudice story, the demons would be capable of coexistence if humans learned to understand them. But Frieren does the opposite. It tells you some beings learn empathy as a tactic, some beings learn language as a weapon, and some beings don't lack information. They lack a reason to care. That's why the season 2 conversation matters. others. It's not about diet, it's about intent. Frieren offers logic, the demon rejects morality, which kinda tells you everything you need to know. So, let me ask you this. Do you think Frieren's demons are meant to be read as misunderstood people, or are they exactly what the story shows them as? Predators with human speech. And be honest with me, because I know there's a big part that looks at them like a misunderstood group. So, let me know down below. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, especially if you're a Frieren fan.